man. That's all I can say, a horrible man, who really just stood up and said some things that, I guess it was part of his free speech. But at the end, he called Sarah a bitch, and he called her a lot of names. That was called name calling. And it was the black women in the back who objected to that. And we stood up and told him goodbye to not interrupt our meeting. And they had the sheriffs there, and they went to him and told him he had to leave. He refused to leave. And so that bothered everybody. So everybody started shouting about him getting out of the meeting because he was in control, just like a white supremacist man, always trying to control a situation and what's happening in front of you. And I spoke loudly, as usual, because when you have a violent man like that, I thought he was going to go up and slap Sarah, and that was not going to happen. I'm glad that we had the sheriff's office there. They had 3 officers in the meeting. That was great. They had to ask him 3 times to get out of his seat. He got up, was about to leave, and I don't know if what was going through his mind, and maybe it was the attorney that wanted to talk with him. And if that's the reason he didn't get out, was because the attorney asked him to speak with him later, we should have had a break there. We should have had a break right then. And I wanna always honor my sister Tina Certain. You did a great job, Tina, especially with all that confusion and everything happening in front of you. But you did a great job. But the thing about that, it still goes back to race, and I know y'all don't want me to get on that race thing, but I'm a black woman. I'm going to always talk about race. Otherwise, I would be crazy, and I'm not crazy. Now, if that had been a black man or a black woman who did the same thing within our meeting, we would have been dragged down and thrown out immediately. So why do you allow this white supremacist, and he was a white supremacist, to continue to do name calling before you even got him out the chair? He had already interrupted the meeting. And I thank you, Tina, for not responding to that. We could tell that there was something else going on in his mind. He had interrupted that at least twice. She didn't call anybody to remove him from the seat. We continued with the reasons we were there to talk about our support for Sarah Rockwell. But when he called her, I think it was a little bitch, or a vicious bitch, or something like that, that's not right. You don't do that in a public meeting. You may have those thoughts, but keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. And I was afraid that when he went close to the dais, I was afraid he was going to reach over and slap her or slap Tina. And so the black women in the back, we always be in the back so we can get out early, We sit by the door, that's what we do. And so the 4 black women who were next to me, we all stood up. And we demanded that they take him out. And I'm so proud of those sisters. Really proud of y'all for being there and speaking out. And finally, he left. Not by choice. He had 3 sheriffs around him, so they guided him out. And that was good. So we had a little pause, and we came back to the meeting. And everything was going forward. But the problem that bothered me was that